Buckets. That's the name of my boat. Buckets.
Buckets. What we get.
Not the only transfer we got from Florida. Keith Stone, too. Remember that.
Everybody who watches his show on a regular basis knows my love of the stretch four.
You know, we all make mistakes. He might have made one going to
Mercy
Tallahassee.
if y'all don't know. Dribble to the left, cross over to the right. Hurricane to the game, many buckets for the night. Matt with the pick and roll, Melissa with the give and go. This Shelly-U, hoodie girl dunking in the hole. Check the scoreboard, this what we fall for. Peep the gameplay, they want an encore. Yeah, overtime for another round. It's buckets after buckets, baby. You out of time. It's buckets. What it is, homie, it's buckets. Woo! We get buckets. Yeah, baby, buckets.
I have no shame.
I know. That's the problem.
You guys are awesome.
What up, everyone? Welcome to some post-game buckets. We got a win. You got me and Vish tonight. Matt is unfortunately under the weather after coming back from Vegas.
Unfortunately, Matt feels like that about now.
That's what Matt feels like. But how's it going, Vish? How are you?
Survived, much like the team.
Yeah. Quick disclaimer in the chat, guys. If my audio
he changed his logo, ice buckets,
Yeah.
right from like his childhood picture.
If my audio sounds crappy, please let me know. I'm testing my new computer and testing it without any AirPods or headphones or anything. If it sounds bad or I'm cutting out, let me know so I can pop my AirPods in. So just let me know, guys.
Loud and clear as far as I'm concerned. Like everything sounds great on my end.
Good stuff.
I think you're good.
So kind of deja vu where it's like when we played Notre Dame in December, we were like, wow, we played like crap, but at least we got the W and we kind of acted like it was a loss. But coming into this game, we had lost 4 out of the last 5. We hadn't been healthy. We still aren't healthy because Matthew Cleveland got injured in the first half and we never saw him again. So injuries continue to be a problem.
We saw him for 20 seconds.
And then he had to go right back out. Notre Dame isn't a good team. It shouldn't have been that close, but the way we've been playing, I'm not surprised it was that close. Vish, give me something good.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are we a good basketball team?
No.
Okay. And I'm not talking about just the results now because we talk about injuries a lot. I mean, we won this game because, first of all, let's just start with the positive. Like Norchad, what a beast!
Norchad scored half our points.
That was an incredible all-time performance. No one else did squat for most of the game. I mean, he had more than half of our points for most of the game. And
Max, sorry, that's funny.
I mean, Norchad got all the buckets. But
Norchad had 32.
So Norchad 33, here, I'll pull the box up. Norchad was amazing. The rest of the team played really poorly for most of the game. Fortunately, down the stretch, Bensley stepped up and hit some shots.
Not everybody played poorly the entire game. Keyshawn, I thought, played really, really well. His shot started to fall in the second half, but he was handling the ball well, made amazing passes to Norchad down low. Probably the best defensive effort I've seen him give the entire season.
I would say generally defensively we were pretty good. We forced them off the 3-point line a lot and got a lot of deflections when they drove. So I was really pleased with that.
Why did you pull up the Notre Dame website stats?
Because it's a stats app and they're the home team, so they brand it. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? There is nothing on our site.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That's our box score. You don't recognize the names on the screen?
Yeah. So let's quickly.
Notre Dame's not putting anyone named Wooga on the court.
Let's quickly discuss the good before we discuss the bad. Norchad played amazing. I think he only had 2 fouls the entire game. He played very what's the word I'm looking for?
He was amazing. He
disciplined.
Was the player.
He was very disciplined. It's about time he finally used his strength. Lots of drives to the hoop and finishing on a dunk and not just trying to lay it up. And had hit 2 threes back to back. And then I honestly thought there was a few he turned down that I think he should have taken. But I think for me, the bright spots of the game obviously were Norchad and Keyshawn.
To me, it was just Norchad. I mean, Keyshawn hit a couple of shots at the end. He, much like the rest of the team, could not throw it in the ocean the whole game. And if not for Norchad basically keeping the whole team in the game, I mean, we're talking about, 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way through the game, Norchad had a majority of our threes.
Well, Keyshawn played really well defensively.
Well, the whole team played really well defensively. That's how we stayed in the game. It wasn't just him. Bensley was really good defensively.
Bensley took that 3-pointer at the end of the game, and had he missed that, I cussed at my TV so loud when he shot that.
Keyshawn, I thought our whole team played really well defensively, and I think Keyshawn's insertion into the lineup has made us a better defensive team.
Yeah.
But offensively, he was atrocious too. He couldn't throw it in the ocean either. And
shooting wise, he was not good, but he made really good passes, I thought, and I thought he handled the ball really well.
I think he made a couple of threes towards the end of the game, and it's coloring a lot of the perception. He was 1 of 7 at that point.
No, he did not have a good shooting night.
And the reason we couldn't, I mean, if you look, Bensley shot better than he did, and everyone wanted to murder Bensley. That's I'm trying to be fair here.
No, his shooting wasn't good. He made a couple shots at the end, which was good. But I'm saying, like, as far as ball security is concerned, he made better passes. Did he have any turnovers?
Yeah, he had one when he got open field tackled. It wasn't even.
Yeah,
he got sandwiched by 2 guys.
As far as like some of those freshman mistakes we saw at the beginning of the year, I know his shooting wasn't great, but he only had that 1 turnover, which doesn't really count. He made some really, really good passes inside, and I thought his decision making was better. But I'm also the co-president of the Keyshawn George fan club, so
is this guy.
Yes, and Keyshawn, that's correct. Keyshawn set up a ton of guys for wide open shots, and they didn't make them.
So and he also got set up for a ton of wide open shots and didn't make them. No one could make a shot.
Was not good, but luckily Norchad with a week of rest killed it.
Yeah, Norchad was awesome, but also this is why it's important you compete defensively. Because we would have gotten killed if we didn't play defense as a team. We defended. I know they're not a good offensive team, so that's part of it. But the defense, from the opening tip, we locked in defensively. And that's why we were struggling to shoot the ball. But the game is in the 50s. When we struggle to shoot the ball against other teams, they have 70 points. We get blown out like by Louisville. Defense won this. Defense and Norchad won this game. And that is something we need to consistently bring, because we've been really bad defensively this year, and it's how we end up losing games. In this case, we locked in defensively, and that stretch run, they had taken the lead, and we went on like a 16-2 run or whatever it was. The 2 matters, right? And once the shot started falling, we blew them out, because Bensley scored three big buckets at the end. Mentioned the 2 threes from Keyshawn. Like, we were in range to win that game with just a few shots going in. They finally did because of the defense. And that's the thing, other than obviously Norchad looking like Norchad again. He clearly, like, the game off helped his energy level, because I think from the word go, he was all over the court. We were just like, I remember this version of Norchad. We haven't seen you in a while. But the defense was consistent. Everyone played defense. Even the people that aren't good defenders, like Nigel, were competing defensively, getting deflections, being disruptive, and that carried us through here. And that's something that you need to. That's something we need to continue going forward, because defense is something that you should never not have. And today we played really good defense. We are, as some of the commenters saying, fortunate that Notre Dame's a bad team. They're 7-12 now, and they also turned the ball over a lot, so we didn't pay for a lot of our turnovers.
But you know what? And I see both sides of it here, because Bill and Kane's Cat's Heat are kind of going back and forth. Yes, Notre Dame is a bad team, but don't forget Louisville is also a really bad team, and we found a way to blow that game. So there's definitely some positives, especially a game on the road, coming off a couple of really bad losses. This game is a big confidence booster. Obviously Bensley Joseph's shooting hasn't been great. He did make a couple shots down the stretch. He looked himself again defensively. And he got extended minutes with Matthew Cleveland. I mean, if you look at the minutes for Wooga, Keyshawn, Norchad, and Nigel, like they had to play a lot of minutes. So it's good to see that part of Bensley's games back, but we haven't been healthy. So to develop chemistry and stuff, it's been hard. Are we a good team right now? No, we're not. Can we be a good team? There is potential there, but when you're having guys in and out of the lineup like we have been, the way Norchad stepped up tonight is huge. We need that from him every single night.
Yeah, and again, I think in addition to, I mean, let's be real. You can't do that. 12 of 14, 33 points, 2 of 3 from 3. It's just not going to, no one's going to do that every night, but the energy level needs to be there. I don't know.
Well, listen, I said it. Shout out to Miami Flow for having us on the show on Sunday night. I said it on Miami Flow show on Sunday night that we haven't had that one guy that we can put the ball in their hands and be like, all right, take over the game. Norchad took over the game.
Yeah, from the beginning. And also his one block was a huge block towards the end of the game when they could have cut back to a one possession game. And he basically,
I think it was with like 5-ish minutes left. Notre Dame made a 3 to go up by 3.
Yeah, and then we killed him. And
I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the start of the downfall. And then Coach L called the timeout. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom. We haven't been able to do that. We have gotten down after giving up a lead or done whatever. And we just fold. It was nice to see the fight in this team towards the end of the game, especially missing a key piece in Matthew Cleveland for the entire second half. And our other starters pretty much playing the entire second half. Norchad coming off an injury, missing a game, maybe being a little rusty, didn't show it. He played, how many minutes did he play? 35 minutes. I mean, we had, listen, we looked better defensively. I know Notre Dame's a crappy team, but we needed it.
And I mean, we have 6 players that we, are comfortable really playing. One of them got injured. The other 5 had to ride most of the game. And, everyone's bagging on Bensley. He made more than half his shots. He was not, I think the difference between him and everyone else is he gets judged differently because people don't want him to shoot. My whole thing is if you're open, shoot the rock. Yeah. That's a lot of our turnovers are coming from people hesitating. In particular, Wooka had a couple where he just needed to let it fly. I don't care if he missed it.
To Bensley.
Yeah,
to Bensley. I'm like, no, take that shot, Wooga. Wooga's lost his confidence.
Yeah, somewhere. And him only taking 6 shots is not enough. Like he's got to shoot the rock. And so I don't. I mean, that's something I think if we take away the careless turnovers, it's gonna infinitely improve our team. There were some. So we lost the dribble, like unpressured, just lost it.
I think Nigel dribbled it off his foot. Christian Watson had an unfortunate. He got an offensive rebound and then landed out out of bounds.
Yeah,
I was like, that's going to count as a turnover. That's unfortunate. Man, Watson had some brutal back-to-back plays where he got one he got stuffed and didn't get back defensively well. The other one he got blocked, but it was a foul and they didn't call it. I think I think that those 2 back-to-back things kind of affected the rest.
Yeah, well, I mean that was kind of it. He came out after that. I do think Coach L was kind of just rolling the dice to seeing how long he could get away with him on the court, and that was the end of him being on the court. Because he does bring more size, and that's what we're looking to get there without Matthew Cleveland, right? So he wasn't just going to play the small backcourt the whole game.
I will say though, I like the little romance that's brewing between Keyshawn and Norchad. They had some really nice little like pick and roll, or Keyshawn kind of dribbling and Norchad moving down in the paint and Norchad getting a few dunks. I like what I see that relationship developing there. It's good to see. We need to see more of it.
Yeah, and the other thing, I mean, you can see it actually towards the bottom of the screen, of substitution log. We just ran it out with the same guys the last 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because Cleveland wasn't there. But that, again, we have 6 guys that are comfortable being on the court at the end of the game. So there's something to build off of here. can't turn the ball over like we did again. We're fortunate we played another high turnover team and they kind of canceled it out there.
Yeah.
But if we continue to compete defensively, you can get away with a lot when you play defense, and you get away with basically nothing when you don't. If you look at the end of the Syracuse game, they were just getting wide open three after wide open three, and they hit a bunch of them, and we essentially blew the game at the end.
Yeah.
Notre Dame wasn't getting anything. We were closing out hard.
To address the chat, it doesn't really matter who's better, Louisville or Notre Dame. They're both shitty teams, and we shouldn't have lost to Louisville. So it's a good thing that we beat Notre Dame because.
I'm not gonna get. I see the chat flowing there. To me,
it's irrelevant at this point. This game was a must win, and we won it. So that we're going from there.
Yeah, I think the big thing is obviously Cleveland's health. We're not going anywhere without him. And but again, if we continue to compete defensively, like we made them work for all of their shots, and we hadn't done that in a long time. And I think that's that's why we won the game, because there was a point where like we couldn't make a bucket other than Norchad. I think we go the first 8 or 9 minutes with them. I think Nigel made a free throw in the second half, and Norchad had all the other points. Yep. We survived that. We were still, obviously we had an 8-point lead at the half. We had lost that lead, so the game was closer. But we were hanging in there, basically not being able to score. And that's how you win consistently, because sometimes the ball doesn't go in. I was very happy with the quality of shots we were getting. So
Norchad's 12 of 14. He took 3 threes.
Yeah. But even absent his like virtuoso performance here, I thought that even though the shots weren't falling,
they were good looks.
Yeah, I think Bensley had one I wouldn't have wanted him to take. The other ones were wide open. Nigel had some good looks. They kept spinning out on him.
A lot of Nigel's were out.
Cleveland's. Yeah, both of Cleveland's threes that he missed were wide open. So if you're able to generate good shots and play defense, you're going to win a lot of games. And we haven't played defense this year. And that's why there was no margin for error. Today we had margin for error, and we used it with the turnovers, but that's why you play defense. And so I was pleased overall with the effort. We didn't see people dragging ass like we have the last few games where they're kind of walking around the court and then we get
we noticed it because me, Vish, and Matt have like a group text, so we're texting the whole game. I'm updating the Twitter, whatever. But within a few minutes of the first half, we were like, Norchad's here to play. He wasn't you could tell within the first couple of trips up and down the court that Norchad was different. That's the best we've seen him look all season, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and he looked, and I don't know how long he was nursing the we'll address your comment, Matt. I don't know how long he's been nursing that injury. I know we remember him getting injured. It was against Wake Forest. We know when it happened, but he played several games after that. Coach L, the press conference after the Wake Forest game was saying, and the ACC media availability on Monday was saying, Norchad's a warrior. He'll play through anything. And I think that might have been a mistake because he wasn't right after that. And I think it was after, I can't remember which game. It was after another one of our losses. It might have been the Florida State game where I think it was the Florida State game where we were saying he played really soft. He wasn't physical. And, at the end, we're kind of like, well, maybe he's really injured. And I think giving him that week off, like we saw the Norchad we saw last year. And we saw the Norchad that's the best player on the basketball court that we want to see. And that was big tonight. And so I think that week off did him a lot of good. And was frankly, if we can get, obviously, again, you're not going to get 12 of 14. This is his career high at Miami. Like, you're not going to get this every night, but if you can get this energy level.
When Nate said Omer had a slump buster type of night, this is that, you couldn't ask for anything better from Norchad coming off a missed game and an injury after us, losing the last 4 or 5. Like, if you would have told me Norchad was going to go 12 of 14 tonight, I would have laughed. I'm like, there's no way, especially as we didn't even know he was going to be playing until like an hour before. So,
I think the big thing going forward, more likely way we win games is continue to play defense. He doesn't play quite like that, but other guys make some shots, right? I think it's all balanced out because Norchad went 12 of 14, scored 33, and no one else could really make anything.
But also, I mean, you can also say, like, he had all those looks, maybe because they were covering other guys on the three, and, like, I mean, Norchad took advantage of it. I
They
mean,
weren't, though. Those threes were
yeah,
open.
you're gonna take what the defense gives you, and they were giving it to North. I mean, when we played Kansas State, I mean, Nigel had like 8 threes in the first half because they were giving him the wide open looks. Like, you take what the defense gives you, and the defense gave Norchad these opportunities, and he took full advantage of it. It's about time. I mean, so, I mean, hopefully our shooters can get back on track. I mean, Bensley had a couple of threes at the end. Maybe that'll kickstart his offensive game a little bit. He had a few layups too, which was good to see.
As did Keyshawn, hit a couple of
And then
threes.
Keyshawn hit a couple. Wooga needs to wake the freak up, man. I don't know what's going on with him. He's so much better than what he's been playing. I agree. He's lacking confidence right now. I don't know what's going on with him. And then Nigel. I mean, Nigel.
He had some loose.
The throwing the passes over defenders was killing us.
But that, and then he had the one you mentioned. There was one on the inbounds pass where he just like lost the ball when he's not.
Yeah.
Under pressure, and we can't be careless. Yeah. Everyone has turnovers. We have about a half dozen every game. They're like.
But to
Have you guys ever played basketball before? Because
to Kane's Cats Heat's point, I don't even know who's healthy and who's not. Like, Wooga came off an injury a few games ago. Nigel came off an injury. Norchad's been hurt. Cleveland's hurt. Like, I don't know. I don't think any of them are 100%. I don't know if that's affecting him because Wooga has looked different since he's come back from that ankle than what he was at the beginning of the year. But we're also playing better teams. So
I'm sure it's affecting him. But look, shoot the rock.
Yeah.
If you're open, shoot it. Like,
also, don't pass up an open three for Bensley Joseph to shoot an open three. No offense to Benz, but Wooga's a better 3-point shooter.
If he's going to be on the court, he needs to shoot the ball when he's open. I don't care if he makes it or not. He can't take 6 shots.
No.
There's no point in him being on the court if he's going to take 6 shots.
No.
So he just, I mean, if he's open, shoot it. And that's all I'm going to say. Like, I don't need him hesitating. I don't need him. Again, lacking, as Michael Sarnoff said, lacking confidence. Just shoot the ball. I don't care if
we had 20 points off turnovers.
Yep, they had as many turnovers as we did. That's why
I think we capitalized more on it, though.
Yeah, because we tend to get the ball and go. They want to play slower. That's how their style is. So they're not going to like take it and push it. Mm-hmm. The other thing I would say about the way that Wooga played is, and this kind of. I think we all kind of like, what are you doing, Bensley, when he shot that 3 at the end, and then Keyshawn did the same thing on the next possession. I will say that is us playing Miami basketball. We get an open shot and you shoot it. And I think we've been doing a little too much hesitating. Some of these turnovers just shoot the ball. Even,
the turnovers are a lot of like they hesitate and they make the extra pass, which isn't a good pass, and it causes a turnover when they had the wide open shot.
Yeah, just get the shot up. Get the shot up. Like. And I think Matt mentioned Nigel trying to throw the ball over the defender, and I want him to be more aggressive and drive at the double team. Like, don't veer to the elbow and try to flip the ball back. Like, just attack it. They have to play you tight. You'll get a foul call because they can't give him any space to shoot over the top of it. So again, I think there's just a little bit too much hesitation. I do think some of it is us tightening up, especially towards the end of these games, because we know the stakes. We knew we could not lose this game. If you want to have any shot at making the tournament, you cannot lose this game. Mm-hmm. And so, I do think that pressure got just a little. Some of those turnovers towards the end were really bad. There was one, I don't even know, this might not have counted as a turnover technically, but where Wooga was all on for the rebound, just fumbled the ball out of bounds. I mean, there was quite a few of these.
But honestly, in other games, though, a lot of FSU, we got to within 2 with a few minutes left. We were tied with Syracuse. Like, a lot of these losses that we've had recently, we were right there at the end, and we fucked it up.
Well, but that also happens when you don't play defense.
Yeah.
And the reason this game we won is because we played defense. And
FSU,
we
played well down the stretch.
Like FSU, the difference between this game and the FSU game is we never defended well against FSU. Otherwise, that spurt we went on where we hit all those shots
would have given us a lead.
Would have put the game away.
Yeah.
And the same thing, Syracuse, we led the whole. This is similar to Syracuse game where we led most of the game. we just kept giving up open shots at the end, and they buried us. And here we were playing defense.
Matt with his word for Jakai in the chat.
I know. We almost ran out of players.
You can pull down the box score, Vish.
So I think, the defense is the thing that we need to be consistent on if we're going to string wins together, which is something we have not done, right? We're 500 in conference now, which is nowhere close to going to get it done. So
no, we got a lot of games that
hopefully get some confidence out of this. And so we shoot better.
I agree with Jeff. George is fun to watch, especially the fro.
Yeah, and his defense was good. He was competitive, but I think, I am fine with him taking the shots he takes because that's how we play. He takes bad shots, but our whole team knows because that's how we play.
I don't even necessarily think he took any really bad shots. I mean, he had that shot at the end.
No, that was fine. I'm always I am fine with if you're open, shoot the rock. And so he was open shooting. I was fine with Bensley shooting it as bad as it was because I remember Charlie Moore doing the same thing. Like, what are you doing? We're in our bag, man. That's how we play. Play loose and free, and you shoot the ball when you're open.
Canes Cats Heat. I think Nwoko took Casey minutes.
Well, I mean, this was all just how many seconds can we get away without Norchad on the court? Was the answer today.
Casey looked better at the beginning of the season, but Nwoko, I guess, is coming along. Looked all right the last game, and it looks like he's replaced Casey in the rotation for the time being. Watson got some minutes out of necessity tonight because of the Cleveland injury. Otherwise, I don't necessarily think you see him.
I think he came in before. Didn't he come in before Cleveland got injured?
I think he did, but I don't think you were going to see him that much.
Trying to buy some time there. And I think it's going to be. I mean,
Virginia's
clearly,
trash. I don't know why you're putting Virginia in with NC and Duke. But
I mean, Virginia's not going to be easy. Not anyone's easy, but
they're not very good. And not that we're very good, but I'm just saying I wouldn't group them with Duke and North Carolina.
No, but I think it's pretty clear. Look, Coach can call the rotation out of any players he wants. We have a 6-man rotation.
Canes Cats, you always have to be ready. Just because you don't play one game doesn't mean you're going to play the next.
But it's also it's a 6-man rotation. It is.
Yeah.
It is whoever's starting, it looks like it'll be Keyshawn now, so then Bensley's the 6-man. And that's the only people you want on the court, if we're being honest. Everyone else is just buying minutes because the drop-off is so bad. You can put a 5 out there with Bensley or with Keyshawn and have them actually be playing better than the starter. After that 6th guy, awful. The drop-off is so... the drop-off from Norchad to Nwoko or Casey or to any of those guys to Watson is huge. So you're really just give me a couple of minutes, and that's it. And so I think, I think the reality is it's the 6-man rotation. He's not going to say that out loud. He's going to say, "Oh, it's 7, it's 8. We're trying stuff out. Might earn time, whatever." No, it's a 6-man rotation. You do not want to see those other players on the court, if we're being honest about it. So. Right now, that's what it is.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think Nwoko is getting the minutes over Casey just because of his length. That's pretty much, I think, what's happening.
Yeah, we did try to play him next to Norchad a bit in this game.
It was like Norchad, Nwoko.
I think Watson was in at the same time.
Watson. I was what is this rotation? What is this line? I even tweeted it too. I was like, this is an interesting lineup.
Yeah, and it did not work. And I don't know
for a minute and a half.
Well, I do think, and Bryce, I do see your question. We'll talk Pitt in a minute for sure too. I do want to talk about something that came up in terms of, because I do think the fact when we played Nwoko at center, it did highlight why, because I know people are, and we've made the same criticism too, why we did not get a big in the portal. Because an actual center means you push Norchad to the 4, and he is not nearly as effective at the 4 as at the 5. We saw that here. And Nwoko has his own issues as a freshman, it's fine. But pulling Norchad away from the basket is not where you want him to be. Not that he can't hit shots, but you only want him to shoot those when he's pulling the center away from the basket, not the power forward. And so what player, knowing that you want Norchad to play 30 to 35 minutes a night, what player is going to come here in the portal to be his? And I think that's the reality of the situation there. You're not talking about, oh, we needed big man depth you're going to get in the portal. You're talking about fundamentally making Norchad the power forward. Is that the best move for the program? Probably not. And that's why we didn't do it.
Norchad, it's a whole different style of play with Norchad. When Norchad goes, we're gonna have a traditional center.
Yeah, because you're not gonna get anyone like him.
You're not gonna find somebody like that again.
Right. And so that was the situation he was faced with. It's not like someone was gonna come here that's like a solid big man that's gonna come here and be like, yeah, I'm gonna sit on the bench and play 8 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was the reality of where we were in the portal, and why it wasn't addressed. And I think we saw tonight that yes, we want Norchad to be playing center, not with a big next to him. And in fact, if we're going to put 2 bigs in, I'd almost know there's a lot of talk in the chat, and Melissa, you mentioned it. I'd almost rather it be Casey because he would play the 4. Because I don't want Norchad playing the 4. He's not as effective there. And that's why we did not address that position in the portal, because you're slim pickings if you're trying to get a center to come here and say, hey, you're going to get 5 to 10 minutes a game. That's just not an attractive proposition.
I think L is making adjustments to the lineup as he sees fit. What he said in a press conference last week about guys he trusts is going to change as the season goes on.
No, I mean, I actually listened to this too. He did say this yesterday on.
Yeah, I don't understand the Omir Nwoko combo either, but I'm just saying in general, what he says in one press conference about guys that he trusts and what lineups he's doing, it can change from 1 minute to the next.
Right, but I think so. All right, let's do an honest assessment here. He spent the last few days talking a lot about how we haven't had a lot of practice time with everyone healthy. It's been difficult to get sets in. We're out of sorts because of it. It's causing turnovers, all of which I think is true. Like, we have had a ton of injuries, and if they're missing games, they're sure as hell missing practice.
Yeah.
Right. And he said in that same interview, the last couple of days we've had everyone healthy. Unfortunately, now obviously Matt Cleveland's injured. So for him to say one of the reasons we're having a lot of turnovers because we're not comfortable playing together, and he absolutely said this, we don't have one offensive set that includes both of them. How do you put them on the court together then? And I think that's a fair question. Coach L's
that's why it didn't work.
No, but I mean, and I think that's what Kane's Cats Heat's saying. It's not. Yeah. And look, Coach L's name is going to be on the court, so we can criticize him with still understanding he's the best thing that's ever happened to this basketball program. Like, those two things can be true, but if you're gonna say like we haven't practiced together, so everything's a little out of sorts, then you put out 2 players you acknowledge.
Unless he introduced it this morning.
I mean, come on, man. Like, I think there's some room for criticism there, but I do think I think the answer is not Casey or Nwoko, to be honest, and it's just going to be how many minutes can we survive without Norchad on the court. I think that's where it is. Our guy's probably not going to be in the league, if we're being honest, dude. But he doesn't fit. He's going to be in Europe. And have a nice career.
He plays like a center, and he's too small.
His advantages are at the 5, not the 4. Because if you play him at the 4, he no longer has that quickness advantage, and there's a center that's not guarding him protecting the basket. It's because he's being guarded by the 4. And we've tried it. We tried it tonight. It does not work. It pulls him away from the basket. It allows the other team center to help and double on him when he gets inside. It's just nothing good comes of that. It's not his position. He is a center that is short for a center, but has the wingspan and the size and the strength to dominate in the paint in college.
And that's what he did tonight.
And that's what he did last year.
Yep.
Enough out of you, Matt.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No, the style of ball we're playing currently with Norchad, you're not going to see again, because you're not going to see a guy like that. That
but yeah, I think he's talking about more of his NBA prospects. Yeah, if he's going to make it in the NBA, it's going to have to be a 4, but he needs a quicker release on his 3. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't. He's making his. Yeah, I think this is actually a true statement.
Well, our guy Jaleel Bethea would be super happy because he talked about throwing oops to Norchad. So
yeah.
Also,
again,
congrats to Jaleel Bethea. We've had him on the show. Obviously, everyone knows who he is. Our big 5-star recruit. He will be. He got invited to the McDonald's All-American game. The 6th McDonald's All-American to play at Miami, even though he hasn't played at Miami yet. No, super, really, really big deal. He's like the number 6 overall player in the country. That's awesome. Keeping Miami's name up there. And then also Austin Swartz, I believe, is in the top 40 something also, as far as rankings are concerned as well. So big backcourt coming in next year.
Yeah, and again, just I think it's just like, I think a lot of good came out of this game. Winning a road game is always a big deal in conference. And, if we can start to shoot better, because the shots were there. I mean, we could have put up 90 points and blown this thing out. So, I mean, how many points do we have when we started finally? We scored like 20 points like the last 5 minutes because we started hitting jumpers. So I think that's our game, right? Our game is Norchad operates in space inside, and we hit a bunch of jumpers, and that's our game. And we weren't making shots, and we won anyway, which is a good sign. Because if we get those looks on a night in, night out basis, we're going to score a lot of points. And if we play defense like that, the other team's not going to match us. And that's how you win.
Man, all of Nigel's shots were just like in and out. So many of them. Just like
and
like a little.
And there was a period there where Notre Dame was hanging around and they took the lead, where you're just like, are we ever going to make a shot? Because it wasn't that we weren't getting looks. It's Keyshawn, Wood.
Then we started putting the ball back into Norchad's hand down low, and look what happened. We started settling for threes again. I know they were open, but we needed to go back to what was working this game, which was
you gotta make.
You still gotta take those shots, but mix it up a little bit. Keep them guessing a little.
He had 33. He got plenty of touches.
I know. Listen, I need someone to find the stat of what our record is when our first points of the game are a Norchad 3.
I don't know. I mean, geez.
That's an interesting statistic that I would like to know.
They immediately
somebody find me those stats.
They immediately hit a 3 right back.
If someone can find me those stats, I will buy you a Chick-fil-A sandwich meal.
You want some Coach L quote straight out the press release? Okay, so I thought we played very solid and very complete first half, and then let them not only back but take control of the game. But fortunately, we were able to pull it out, and I really appreciate how hard we worked to get back into the game. Norchad is just a warrior. You saw tonight that he's an incredible rebounder. He made a couple of threes and some free throws, but he's a beast about the around the basket. He's really good. Yeah. And I think that's why you don't want him playing at I think beast around the basket is correct. And why you don't.
Everyone's so focused on height. And yeah, I get it. Like, that's what knocked us out of the Final Four last year. But what also knocked us out of the Final Four last year was our lack of making shots.
Yep.
So there are some nuances to playing the type of small ball that we play. And that game last year, we couldn't get shit to fall. And that was our downfall.
I mean, that game, look, they dominated us inside, but also, to your point, not only can get shit to fall. That game was just, that thing unraveled on us. Nigel's shoe exploded. Wooga froze up and had to be benched. Like that thing came apart fast. And so, remember, Harlan Beverly played most of the second half because Wooga just could not be on the court. It was him and Bensley rotating, and he benched Wooga like after one possession after halftime and didn't play again, even after Nigel's shoe exploded. So, which of course you're playing in a football stadium, so to go back to the locker room is like run a mile, and just all of it came apart there. But I think looking at, I think we view it wrong when we say, okay, how did we lose last year, and how do we fix that? When the reality is, how do we get back to that point again? Right? We're not going to get there exactly the same way. So how do you get I'll take a shot at the Final Four again with the small team rather than not make the tournament. So, and I think the blueprint was there all season, and it was there tonight. Norchad is a beast inside, and outside of that, everyone else can shoot. and that makes us very hard to guard. And when we complete defensively, and Matt and I talked about this a lot last year, right before you joined the show, Melissa, when Matt was guest on with me, when we lock in defensively, we're never great defensively, but we make it difficult for teams. We tip balls, we steal balls. We
had very active hands tonight.
Yeah, and because of our quickness, we're able to contest shots. And so
it was one of our better defensive performances.
Yeah, and that's because we tried. We're never going to be great defensively because that's not how we want to play. And not that we don't want to play defense, just we want to play small. We're not going to put a bunch of bigs out there and like crowd you around and play Virginia basketball. We want to play Miami basketball. But this year we've seen more often than not to have just abdicated defense entirely. Yeah, we're not going to even try playing it. And that's why we had some of those lopsided scores and how you give up all those points to Louisville and to FSU and stuff. But this was a step in the right direction. I thought overall it was a complete performance. We just didn't shoot well, which I can live with. I think there's a difference between taking bad shots, which for the most part I don't think we did, and missing good shots. And for us, any open three is a good shot.
Honestly, finding a way to win with like the poor shooting performance we had says a lot. Like that's really, really important. Because you're not always going to have a good night shooting wise, especially when a team like us where we kind of live and die by the three. So the fact that we were able to overcome that and find other ways to score and win, even though it's a bad team, especially coming off some of the losses we've had, this is a really, really important game for confidence, something to build on. Nor Chad looking healthy is good. Obviously, the injury to Matthew Cleveland, we don't know what's going on there. But
that's big. That's something.
Yeah, that's going to be something to follow. We'll see what happens on Saturday with playing Pitt. But Nor Chad looking like Nor Chad looked tonight is really, really good to see. Like really, really, really good to see because he's probably our best player.
Yeah, the Matt Cleveland one was just weird because
I don't even know what he did. He was like,
they said it was his. Okay, so
they said it was his hip.
Well. He went up, grabbed a rebound, started dribbling up, looked fine, kind of threw the ball to Keyshawn, just limped over to the side of the court, comes out. He was sitting there like with the rest of the team on the bench, not even being worked on, comes back in, grabs another rebound, just begs out. Then he's massage gunning his eye.
I honestly thought he was cramping the way it seemed. That's what I was assuming. Someone asked me what I thought on Twitter, and I was like, it looks like he's cramping, but I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously watching.
Yeah, but then he gets okay, you're a nurse practitioner. So would you massage gun your outer thigh because of your hip? Because we saw him doing that.
Your hip isn't a muscle.
What was that? So they said it's a hip injury. Why?
Maybe it's the muscle around that area.
Why did he take a massage gun, like put it into his thigh? It wasn't even.
That's why I thought he was cramping.
I know. I thought he was massaging it out.
It probably got better while he was on the bench after he massaged it, and he came back in, and as soon as he started to run again, it cramped up again. That was my assumption. But again, I'm just like the 3 seconds of footage we saw him on the bench. Like obviously, I can only pull so much from that.
But wasn't getting, the interesting thing is he wasn't getting worked on after he came out the first time. He was just sitting there with the other substitute players like he was taking a rest. That's when I told you all, I was like, he's fine because there's no one even looking at him. He was in the middle of the bench. And then he came back in. We're like, all right, we're good to go. Because it didn't look like he hurt anything. Like when on the actual play either. So it's not like you saw an ankle or something. And then he took a massage gun out and worked on it himself, which do we have someone to do that? But anyway.
That's why I started to assume, but you know what happens when you assume. But the way he like came back in a little bit after, I was like, oh, maybe he just cramped and then it cramped back up like as soon as he came in. But
maybe
I don't know the massage gun thing, but obviously we're all speculating who the freak knows.
It could be cramps or something else that you're saying hip because like I don't. Again, you're the medical professional.
But it's hard to diagnose.
Yeah, but no, I'm not asking you to diagnose. It just doesn't, at least according to what you just said. And my thinking was, doesn't really make sense to massage gun your thigh.
Yeah,
because you have a hip problem.
Unless the massage gun has nothing to do with the actual injury.
What the hell is it?
I listen. Again, we're all speculating.
What's going on over there, man?
I have no idea. I'm just
anyway. We definitely need it back.
That's just what I assume, just because of the kind of how the events unfolded after. But I know as much as everybody else who watched it on TV, so I don't know. Some people were asking about what we think about upcoming with Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt. So I'm going to ask you a question about that. So Blake Hinson. The guy who hit the 2 they called a 3 at the end of the game last year and almost cost us the ACC championship. He's back.
He's playing really well this year.
Really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have said before this game, Matthew, go check that man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might not have him. Is it Keyshawn's assignment?
Or Wooga. I think Keyshawn's been playing better, though. I think when you have Bensley in there, you can put Bensley on him, but Bensley's not the starter right now.
Yeah, I think
it just also beat Duke, so they're.
But I don't think Bensley's big enough to guard Hinson. Hinson's like a big guy who could shoot.
What's up, Evan?
I think it's got to be. I think it's gonna have to be Keyshawn.
Matt, who do you think?
What's up, Evan? Ben's too short. That's what he thinks. Yeah, so I think it would be. Yeah, I think right now, unless Cleveland was like a cramp or something, and he's just going to be 100% next game, I don't know that you can make that. I mean, he is the guy to stop for Pitt. Like they have 2 other players.
With me. Yeah,
they have 2 other players. They have 2 other players in double figures, but he's leading 3-point shooter. He scores 18 a game. Like he's the guy. If you take him out, you're going to win. And so we got to put whoever we think our best defender is on him. Not sure who that is at this point.
Keyshawn is showing some promise.
Yeah,
I would not have said Keyshawn at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and he's and Matt's having way too much fun. I will say when I was sick,
Matt's on his flu game right now.
Yeah, well, when I was sick and missed the show, I was not having nearly as much fun as Matt is. I'm jealous. I was thrown up into a trash can while you guys were after you interviewed Julie again.
I think Matt had that part of this illness yesterday, and now it was more of a recovery day. Whereas when you missed that was a Julian Gamble interview. You were in the midst of the Mount Vesuvius.
Yes, and then after the interview ended, you guys kept talking like, "Are you ever going to shut up?" I'm sitting over here waiting for you to stop talking so I can end this thing.
And now I see, but now that I've been to your place, now I know how far away your office is from the bathroom.
I mean, no, I puked into a trash can. I had a trash can in here.
Okay.
But I was, where the couch is.
I've been to the Mecca that is Vish's office / apartment.
Yeah.
I've seen the setup.
You've seen where the couch is in here. That's why I kept going to lie down.
Yeah.
They're not gonna leave me for a second.
No. Vish is actually, side note, helping me with my new setup. He's bringing me down I just got a new computer. I don't know if anyone can tell the difference between audio or whatever. But just got a new computer. Vish helped me out with that. And then as far as helping me get the picking out what I wanted. But he's giving me one of his extra monitors he doesn't use anymore. So I'm gonna have a 2-screen setup, and I got this nice, lovely mouse to be able to toggle. And unfortunately, my mouse mat has been delayed in shipping. I got a text message from Lowe's.
Do you think it's actually in transit, or is it just?
I just think it has a tracking number, and they haven't even sent it.
I have concerns that it even exists. But
the guys are saying my audio is good. I'm not wearing an AirPod. So I used on my old computer. I was using an AirPod because the audio would always cut out. So I'm I'm AirPodless right now. I'm just straight up speaking into the speaker. So if it sounds good and I don't have to use headphones anymore, I'm gonna be really excited.
You're good.
So, but yeah, I was posting about it. Also, make sure you check out our Twitter, _Canes. Vish did the Chick-fil-A challenge where he ate the spicy deluxe with fries, mac and cheese, and all the sauces on it. He actually ate the whole sandwich too.
I mean, I said I was going to on the recording you did, so I had to step up and do it. And
that's probably just my lighting.
And then Matt's the one that got sick. Life ironies.
It's just a stick lamp over there. So I don't have anything professional going on. So I'm also really pale, so that could also be why it looks bright. But that's actually just what I look like.
Could get you a ring light now because you have a monitor sticking on.
Could be better. Okay, Gary.
The lighting in the webcam. Yeah, but
so use the new mouse. Once I have a mouse pad, it'll look so nice.
Yeah, so Pitt has a couple other good guards, so they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
Defensively, they got.
Do they have a big that can handle Norchad?
They have 3 tall players. The Diaz-Graham brothers, I think it's Diaz-Graham, right? And then Federico from Finland.
Ooh,
So
Bernard has a women's question. We'll get to that shortly. Sorry. We will get to that shortly.
Yes.
That was exciting that somebody asked the women's question.
Yeah, so they have 3 legitimate. I think all of them are like 7 feet too. They're like legitimately tall.
Are they scrawny?
The two Spanish brothers they were all there last year. The 2 Spanish brothers, the Diaz-Graham brothers, are twins. They're both like 7 foot tall. They're scrawny though. They play away from the basket. And then Federico 6'11", but he's like built. So
this is going to be at that game on Saturday.
Yeah, I will be there. So, but their production comes from their guards and from Hinson. Appreciate you too, Matthew. Not Matthew Bridges, Matthew Cody. Matthew Bridges.
Real quick. The women play tomorrow at
North
UNC, who's ranked. This is like their 6th ranked opponent. We're coming off that big win against number 4 NC State. Probably the best game we've played cohesively as a team.
Yeah, it's at 8 p.m.
Yeah, I'm working, unfortunately, but hopefully Vish will put some updates on Twitter.
I'll man the account.
Yeah.
Thing I told you I was absolutely not going to do.
Really big game. Obviously, we had a rough start to ACC play with all these really tough teams that we've played. We've played. It'll be 4 ranked teams in a row. So if we can beat North Carolina tomorrow and go 2-2 in that stretch, that's a really big momentum booster going into our second half of our ACC season, which is a lot lighter. But the women are looking really good. I know I've said it, but I know their ratings right now and their record looks like. Why are you saying they look good? But they look really good. They're only going to pick up.
Are you going to say out loud what you told me?
What do you mean?
You know what
did I say? I don't remember. I say a lot of things.
That was a true statement. About the North Carolina game.
Oh, I said we're going to beat North Carolina by double digits.
We'll see. It is at North Carolina, so our whole team should foul.
Didn't I say that in the store? I think I said that in Best Buy.
You said it multiple times because you said to me when I was leaving too. You reminded me, don't forget what I said. So I was like, well, you're not going to say that shit. Yeah, so. But I did not forget what you said.
I just have a lot of faith in the GOAT, Coach Meyer, who you'll see up here. That's why she's at the top. That's the GOAT. And I think we have so much momentum building off that last win that I think we go into North Carolina and win by at least 10.
Yeah, it'll be tough. They're going to call out of fouls on us. It's at North Carolina, so we'll have to play through that a little bit. We do have good depth. So.
Z played so well last game, but she stays out of foul trouble. I'm looking for her to have a double-double.
Well, the other thing is North Carolina doesn't shoot well.
And we play really good defense.
Shoot 29% from 3 as a team. So we might Matt's still in the chat. We might see that zone that we use against NC State come back out and force them to shoot threes.
The zone was working.
The zone worked, and I think
Coach Meyer found something there. That was
crazy. We might see it again, given North Carolina. Because
don't let the record fool you. Don't let the record fool you. I'm just saying it right now. Don't let the record fool you. I love this team. I'm super excited about them.
Yeah, and then the women host Duke on Sunday, which is another tough game, but they're
is gonna
hopefully she doesn't Matthew Cleveland that one up.
Yeah, I know, right? But who do you want to see go big tomorrow? I'm looking for another big performance by Z, and I hope Lachey kind of builds on that performance off the bench that she had against NC State. I need to see more of that Lachey Dwyer because that was amazing to see.
It's Jasmine. So goes she, so goes the team.
Steady Jazz.
She's the best player on the team, and when she shows up and plays like it, we play well. When she doesn't, there's not enough to make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a matchup problem. It's probably Keyshawn, and if Matthew's healthy, he's probably there. And the reason is, so there are other 2 guards. Matt mentioned the freshman. That is Carlton Carrington. He's 6'5".
Such a great name.
And then their other guard, these are 3 players in double figures, is Ishmael Leggett. He's 6'3". So we're gonna be at a deficit across the back. So it makes sense Keyshawn on Hinson or Matt, and then if he can play. But then if he can't play, it'll probably be Keyshawn on Hinson, probably Wogan Liggett, and then
Nigel.
Yeah. It'll be Bensley probably, actually. But either way, that's going to be a height disadvantage. So, but that's why we can't put Wogan Hinson, because then it's gonna make that a height mismatch too. Because both Keyshawn and Matt can match up height wise with him, and actually with both of their athleticism, they can kind of chase him around and hopefully not get it. Try to defend him out of the game a little bit, which will be key. If you can control him, kind of falls into place. Pitt's been a weird team. They're not good, but they've got some good wins. Some good wins.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So
do we have a Mount Rushmore to end the night? We never
Can we do it without Matt?
Well, Matt can.
That's true. I mean, I don't have one. Do you have one?
Does anyone in the chat have an idea for a quick Mount Rushmore before we get out of here? Wait for the delay.
While we wait for that, just to recap what is coming up. So the women are at North Carolina tomorrow at 8 p.m. The men host
Pitt
at 2:15 on Saturday, and then the women at 2 on Sunday host Duke. So it's 2 home games over the weekend.
I don't know.
But Joseph Newgarden, and who else we got? Don't put that asshole Logan Sargent in here. Melissa's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? You didn't watch our Daytona 24 Hours of Daytona special at 6 p.m. that Evan and I did.
This we talk basketball on this show. Yeah. We don't want to steal the thunder from the football show that airs Mondays at 8:30.
Yeah. Yeah, that Florida State game hit a wrong day for me, but I'm working on it.
He's trying to
I had made some commitments that weekend up here.
Yeah.
So I'm working through them. You did put Montoya's Colombian, man. You can't count him. Anyway.
Are you talking about like F1?
Just general race car. Although
I could do a Mount Rushmore of my favorite hoodies, but that wouldn't work for you.
Do you have them with you?
Well, I mean, they're in my closet.
Well, that's for another one where you can have them like out.
Yeah.
If you say the interview hoodie, I'm the only one who's going to know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think of a quick Mount Rushmore of favorite fruits.
Okay.
I don't know. No one's giving ideas. Favorite beers?
We can do favorite beers. Let's do favorite beers. Do you have 4?
I could name 4, I think.
All right.
You want to go first?
I can go first. Guinness.
Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
I should have known that was coming. Mao.
What?
The Spanish beer. You've had it. I've given it to you. It's the one with the pull tab. We have it at all of our tailgates.
Did I try it though? Because at all of our tailgates, we've also had Oktoberfest.
I'm pretty sure. Did you have Oktoberfest at like the A&M game?
Yeah, I keep Oktoberfest all year round.
Miller Lite, dude, please stop.
Evan likes the Oktoberfest.
I mean, Evan is a professional, so we should defer.
There was this Australian beer I had when I visited my brother a long time ago called a Fat Yak. That was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Those are my go-tos. Oh, Stella. Drink a lot of Stella.
I don't know the names. I tried. So when I went to Alaska a few years ago, I tried so many beers, and there was a lot of really good ones, but I don't remember their names. Like all Alaskan beers in general. Can that just be my Mount Rushmore?
Here's my guy. He knows.
There was this sour beer.
Good.
There was a sour beer that I tried at this one brewery in Alaska. I can't remember the name, but whatever that name of that sour beer was, that's my third one.
That's okay. So the Mount Rushmore includes that sour beer from Alaska. You can't.
Yeah, I don't know the name. I forget the name. I could actually, you know what? I probably have a picture of it. Hold on.
All right. Well, you're doing that. All right. So I need a fourth. What did I have so far? I got Stella, Guinness, Mal,
Here.
and King Street is the name of the beer.
Yeah, it's the brewery.
Oh, King Street's the brewery. So what is that? Cherry? What does that say?
It's like a cherry sour.
Okay.
I knew I took a picture of it.
That is obscure.
Well, look, I was doing a bunch of like flights and stuff because we were trying everything. So
nice.
There you go, King Street Brewery beer, cherry sour.
All right, so last one. Should I go with Presidente? Dominican. Yeah, we'll go with that. Keep it local-ish.
I'm gonna go with my mainstay go-to, which is Yingling. It has to be. It may not be the best beer, but it's always my go-to. The Yingling Hershey's Porter is also really good too. Their seasonal beer that they come out with.
Oh, yeah, you gave me one of those.
Was good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Yingling is always my go-to. Easy to find everywhere you go. So.
All right. Well, no one else is going to play along with us. I got a Miller Lite, got an Oktoberfest for sure, and La Rubia. They're seconding my Mao prediction.
Where'd Matt go? Matt
I don't know, but you need to put 4 of them in. That's the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you got to put 4.
Should we do a Mount Rushmore of beers? Coors Light.
Bud Light.
All the lights, essentially.
PBR.
Oh, yeah, PBR. Oh, and you got to finish it off with Natty Light, right?
Right. Oh, there's Jeff. Goose Island, Stella, Negra Modelo, and Borea.
I've never had Borea. Nice.
Beer. Well, that means you're drinking the wrong beer if it tastes like toilet water.
So put down the Natty Light. It's not good. All right.
Wow, we went through Mount Rushmore really quickly with only 2 of us.
Yeah, that's true.
That one wasn't a planned one. We had to do a quick one.
Yeah, well, we can blame Matt then when it drags on next one.
I don't know. Are you guys doing a post game on Saturday?
I don't know.
I don't know that I'm available on Saturday to do a post game.
It'll probably be closer. I think the games are 2:15. So by the time I get home, probably around 5 if we do it. So
well, keep an eye on buckets_canes. We'll let you guys know if there's going to be a post game, post pit. I probably won't be available unless it's like super late. Maybe midnight buckets might be a thing on that. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I will be back in Miami 2 days.
Oh yeah, you got to bring me my monitor.
Yeah, that is exactly why I'm coming, just to bring you your monitor.
No, it's not. No, you're gonna be here for a while, right?
Because shipping doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm gonna be there for.
Don't forget the mouse pad, because apparently I'm never gonna get my mouse mat.
2 weeks, I think. I do need it back eventually, so you better get something. Because I do need it back. When I come back up here in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Oh, if you need it, don't bring it. I thought you had like an extra one that you didn't mind letting me use for a little while.
I don't know. You can. I'm not gonna be back here for like. No, I'll get it back to me before I leave. To come back anyway. Yeah. Even with your delayed shipping. But if it gets into like week, because I'm there for like 2.5 weeks, so by then if it hasn't shown up,
I'll have to buy like a cheap one if I don't get it like in a reasonable time. Should I show the people what it looks like? Do we have a picture?
Do you want me to just pull it up and show it on the? Well, you can do it that way.
How cool is that? If it ever gets here, it's gonna look really cool. But I got a text today saying that shipping was delayed, so we'll see. You
should have ordered from that random store I found.
Right. Well, I will say, have you noticed how much better I'm able to show shit on my phone with this new computer?
The camera's a lot better.
The camera's way better. So hopefully the audio sounds good. Everyone said it did. So
yeah, the audio's good. Everything's good. Unfortunately, you can't do this yet, but I think when we upgrade,
I think I have to update.
It's not happening for me. There it is.
I think I have to do a quick software update or something.
Yeah. You got the wrong version of the operating system on it, but get that updated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the game's at 2:15. So if we're doing a post game, it'll probably be around 5.
Look at all the OGs in the chat tonight. Jeff was back. We got Bryce, Canes, Cats, Heat. Bill was here.
Evan's here.
Evan.
Matt Bridges.
Matthew's a new one.
Yep.
Mad Hatter. Bernard's been in here a few times.
Yeah, Bernard and Bryce are old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking through this.
It's always nice to chit chat with the fam after a win, you know?
Yeah. Jake as well. This one.
We've got some side F1 chat going on.
Well, no, they're talking about sports car racing.
Oh.
It's not F1.
Oh, whatever. I don't.
Well, I think they're ignoring me. I'm like, not. This is their thing now, apparently.
So, all right. Anything to add before we get out of here?
No, just quick recap again. Women, huge game tomorrow. Both teams are at home this weekend. Kind of need those 3 wins to keep both the seasons moving forward. So, I don't even want to know what kind of crimes you're planning in the chat. Just keep that over there.
I'm already planning my trip to Berkeley to see us play Cal for football in October.
Oh yes, we are
also to see my one of my guys, Matt.
Yeah.
You know.
Matt said he's got family near there that we can sleep at their place or something. I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out.
We'll figure it out, but hopefully we can get my road record back on track. Jeff, I think pretty much every game we play from here on out is a must win.
Yeah, no, but I think if you're gonna put together, so I think overall you gotta kind of win all of the winnable games, and then you get your Dukes and your Carolinas, which those are ones you gotta get some of them.
Yeah, you gotta get like 1 or 2 of those. But yeah, like Pitt is a game we need
at
to
home.
win.
You can't lose that game if you're gonna go anywhere. So
yeah.
All right. So we might have some weekend buckets. We're not sure yet. But yeah, stay tuned for
Follow up buckets_Canes, please. We're almost to 400 followers. We're getting there.
And we're also going to have some announcements on Monday's Six Rings Cane Show about some changes around here, some expansion of stuff coming around here.
Oh, is that getting announced on Six Ring? Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
Part of it is.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Part of it is.
I'm aware of the changes, but I wasn't aware of when it was being announced.
Well, we'll talk in a minute.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. A Canes dub, good stuff. Norchad with 30+, love to see it. Let's hope the women get a big win tomorrow night against North Carolina. Go Canes, and cue the Sox outro. Don't cry. Keep it chill. Wear good socks.